build a nation of our dreams. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. Citizen FM, Citizen.
Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us on Insight on Citizen FM 93.7. My name is Lawrence Umoette. It's 8 minutes past 10, and we are good to go. The waiting is finally over. After months of grilling political activities, media campaigns, nationwide campaigns, endless meetings and consultations, the presidential elections have come to a climax. A winner has been officially announced. Former Lagos State Governor and flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is now president-elect. This came after the apprehension that followed the conduct of the elections on Saturday. Claims and counterclaims had trailed the election since the weekend, with the PDP and the LP kicking against the process of the election. But despite this, the Independent National Electoral Commission has formally announced the winner of the presidential election, and he is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's been a tight contest, and the official result has shown that. So many talking points on the program today. And when I unveil my guest, we will delve into that. But before we go into that, let's do a short recap on what happened a few hours ago when the official announcement was made. And that's talking about the announcement by the chairman of INEC. Let's listen to him.
Presidential election. I, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the 2023 presidential election held on the 25th of February 2023. The election was contested. The candidates received the following votes. Tinubu Bola Ahmed of the APC, 8,794,726. Obi Peter Gregory of the LP, 6,101,533. Musa Mohammed Rabiu Konkoso of the NMPP, 1,496,687. Abubakar Atiku of the PDP, 6,984,520. Total valid votes 24,025,940. Rejected votes 939,278. Total votes cast 24,965,280. That Tinubu Bola Ahmed of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
Yes, so that's official from INEC. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been returned as the president-elect of Nigeria. And also, the president-elect was swift in his reaction, and he also said he has accepted that offer by Nigerians. Again, let's listen to what he said.
I am being elected. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is a serious mandate. I hereby accept it. That is to serve you, be your servant, and not be your leader. To work with you and make Nigeria a great country. I take this opportunity also again to appeal to my fellow contestants. Let us team up together. It is the only nation we have. It is one country. And we must build together. We work together to put broken pieces together. We must work for the unity, happiness, and harmony. We must not act like that orchestra. There is no direction of a conductor. We and we have elected a conductor. Named President-elect. Let's collaborate to create a symphony that will make the rhythm of music and prosperity an history for our country. We have what it takes. We have what is needed. Knowledge, creativity, the mind, determination, we are the same country performing wonders in other countries. We can do it here. I promise I'll work with you to make Nigeria the destination of returning home to contribute to the development. Thank you. The youth, I read you first. Let me us. We're going to chart the path together. We're going to embark on this journey together, united. No one is too small to be creative. Inshallah, we will work together. We pay attention, undivided attention to your education. We will be creative. Credit will be available. Education loan will be available. 4 years course will be 4 years course. No more strike.
Yes, thank you for staying tuned. That was an excerpt from the acceptance speech of the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You're still on Insight, and today we are going to look at a lot of things that happened, especially since Saturday. My guest is Dr. Umoette, forensic and social psychologist. He's also a teacher and a public policy analyst. Dr. Umoette, thank you so much for being part of the program.
Yeah, thank you, Lawrence, for hosting me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yes, you can join our live stream on YouTube. Simply type in Insights 93.7, and you can also listen to us online on www.citizenfm.ng, and not forgetting our social media platforms on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on Twitter at Citizen FM 937. When the time comes, we will open the phone lines. But Dr. Umoette, straight up, it's been a grueling 4 days after the close of ballots. A new president-elect has been announced. How did you receive this information?
Yeah, well, for me, it's a mixed bag of feelings. One, for me, there should be an electioneering campaign and the process of elections, and that is on the positive note for me. Then the process leading up to the emergence of Siwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the one that leaves sour taste in one's mouth. I am very sad that this presidential election in Nigeria has not witnessed improvement upon the efforts we made in 2019. So much went into the preparations. Over 300 billion naira went into it in terms of funding. And then the National Assembly and the President collaborated towards electronic voting. And the electronic component of this process was practically jettisoned by INEC. And I believe that is illegal. And I believe it will form the basis for opposition challenge to the outcome. For me, I've been trying to study the new Electoral Act, its provisions and powers given to INEC, and the position of the INEC chairman, where he said that there is no provision for electronic transmission of results. I have read, Section 16, subsection 3 particularly, and Section 38 of INEC guidelines, which is a derivative of the Electoral Act and further state the Constitution, the express provisions on how to conduct election in Nigeria. And two things stood out for me, and for me they are unambiguous. I don't know who would want to bring in interpretation to justify the position of the INEC chairman that there would be no electronic transmission of results. That is not true. And I say so because, paraphrasing, you will see where it is said the collation officer will declare results while collating after cross-checking with the uploaded results. That is electronic transmission of results. The electronic transmission of results doesn't mean that the figures will have to be typed. If you send it as a picture, it's even more authentic because it will bear the direct and exact resemblance of what was transmitted from the polling unit. That is the express provision of the Electoral Act. And we saw that the presidential election results were collated and ultimately declared without paying attention to that clause, which says that before you declare the manual result, you should make sure it tallies with what was uploaded. And again, discarding this puts the election of Asiwaju in jeopardy, because if it is an express provision of the Constitution, it does not give INEC any discretionary powers to begin to change the process. If it says that you must tally the electronically transmitted version and the manual version brought to the collation center by the polling officers, that you must do. He didn't ask, he didn't say you may, he said you shall. And when a law says shall, it becomes a must, and if you bypass it, you go back to it ultimately, because you have to repeat the process. This is my fear. This will cost the country so much money repeating the presidential election, and that is the risk. And I believe it was avoidable. I was with you on Sunday on an interview such as this, and I told us that look, election results were being announced at the International Conference Center without the concurrence, what you may call the concurrency. There is this concurrence demanded by the Constitution, by the Electoral Act, that the two figures must tally. The reason is to check rigging, that is alteration of physical results by the electoral officers, presiding officers, after announcement has been made. When on their way to the collation center, many of them collect money, alter the results. And if you go to the IREV viewing portal of INEC, you will see so many mutilated results. That's exactly what a provision of the Electoral Act is trying to check.
Oh, okay.
And yes, just 1 minute.
Okay.
Where that happens, the collation officer is duty bound to drop such a result. He will not bring it into the mix. Now, if this is widespread and we ignored it, it means that you are working with a fictitious figure. You are working with a fictitious figure. You have defeated the electronic voting component of the extant subsisting electoral act, and even INEC guidelines. Let me just say quickly before you come in. INEC guidelines are minor laws. They are minor regulations. INEC does not have the power to bypass, to drop its own regulation. You read basic administrative law. Any lawyer will tell you this. When you make guidelines, they become lawful and duty of the maker to follow it through. If you want to check it, if you have to change it, you have to make another regulation that will now drop the existing one. You don't drop a regulation you have made without a new one that has been made, authenticated and passed, to the stakeholders so that they will know the new process. Now, INEC didn't do that. What that means is that, in fact, it is like, a referee removing the goalpost in the middle of an ongoing football. It's unbelievable. But that's exactly what we are into now.
Okay, Dr. Mefo, I'm sure we will have enough time to interrogate the processes, but it was a tight contest, at least from the official result released by INEC. Yes. What does this say about our political climate currently?
Well, I think for me, there are many things we have to take away from this election. The impunity of the ruling party APC and the main opposition PDP has been effectively challenged by Labour. Yes, by considering itself into a third force, and from the results already declared, you will see that the Labour, has produced over 10 senators, over 50 House of Reps members, and on Saturday, don't be surprised if they produce 2, 3 or more governors and numerous and countless House of Assembly members. This is a major shift. And again, it's a very major shift. If you go to the Southeast particularly, the political climate has been completely altered, totally altered. You see the number of major political gladiators that have been retired, including serving governors. Itazu, Guanyim, and a number of others, serving senators retired. And why is this so? Because the political landscape has been altered by the injection of Labour and PDP into the fray. And they have justified their inclusion and their designation as front runners. Nobody is called a front runner in any election unless the person actually has a genuine chance of winning the election. And you see, like you said, very tight race. Labour showed that he could have also won this election. And nobody can even say that Labour did not win this election or that PDP did not win this election until you authenticate the results from the polling unit. We must go back to the polling unit and be certain that those figures that were manipulated and uploaded and computed as genuine figures that gave us Iwaju victory, we must be sure that they are the same results given to polling party agents. In the 4 major political parties, APC, PDP, Labour, and NMPP, have over 170,000
agents,
polling agents each. What that means is that they ought to collect their own forms. There is this EC8, A and B, that must be signed by the presiding officer, and then copy is given to even the police. We need to gather all these sheets that were distributed to polling agents, to police at the polling unit. Every political party that calls itself opposition should be able to calculate its own results. I listened to the joint press conference by PDP and Labour. They are talking about irregularities. That's correct, but they must move beyond that. They have their own situation rooms, they have their own polling agents, and they are with them